Inspector Briardien truly is amazing. Why, he's cracked the case with little more than scattered scraps of evidence, literally.
I can see the connection. But how does this help us deduce the identity of the perpetrator?
I think I missed something. Who exactly are we going after?
Before we begin pursuing our man in earnest, answer me this: can any of you tell me where Eular's copy of Volume 11 currently is?
The letters say it was found in Arcombadine's room. Though, for all we know, that could be complete and utter bollocks.
Kaneko time, I see you've managed to keep your word to Le Brassois. Very good. Allow me to enlighten the rest of you. The tome is currently in my possession. Le Brassois discovered it in Arcombadine's room and turned it over to us in secret for fear it would fuel the ongoing rumors. Now knowing what you do, it is time to put your minds to the test. What do you surmise is the relationship between our talented writer friend and the thief that lifted the book from Eular's quarters? It seems you've missed the obvious. If you were to take a moment and work through the facts, you would have noticed the motivation behind the stolen book and letters is the same. It would stand to reason that the perpetrators are either working in tandem or, in fact, are one and the same. Which leads us to our next question: who would have been able to enter and exit Eular's room unnoticed? The perpetrator was able to move quickly and not draw attention to themselves in the act, leading me to believe our book snatcher had easy access to all rooms within the dormitory. How, you might ask? Keys, something only 3 people currently possess: Father Saturnois and the prefects Arcombadine and Le Brassois.
So one of them is the culprit. But, which could it be? I know. It was Arcombadine. Think about it, it explains why he was so adamant in refusing our help.
But what sense is there in him stealing the book when the only thing it would serve to do is implicate him in a crime he may not have even committed? Then that leaves Le Brassois as the only other person aside from the inspector and miqo'te who came into contact with the book. I'd say he's a prime suspect. It certainly is suspicious, but what motive could he possibly have? If only there was a way we could glean the answer. miqo'te, I hear that you possess a great gift, one which you employ to reveal long-hidden truths about our nation. Might you not be able to use this power to shine some light on the matter at hand? So it is not yours to control. I guess that means we'll have need to rely on our own wits to obtain the answers we seek. Fortunately, I have an idea of my own, but I'll need your help to see it through. Well then, Theo, let us put this idea of yours into action. Last I heard Arcombadine and Le Brassois have taken refuge in Gemal Manor. Let's make our way there post-haste.
I'll leave it to you to see that the bumblings of those 3 do not interfere with the final stage of my investigation at the vault. But do not tarry long. With Father Saturnois throwing his full support behind the petition, Arcombadine has but a few bells before his name is permanently struck from the registry. I shall do what I can to see that the proceedings are delayed, but I cannot guarantee it will buy us all the time we need. Godspeed, Kaneko time. I'll see you at the hearing.
If he only knew his son's true sire.
Whatever Theo's brilliant plan is, I certainly hope he took this into account.
Again, I wouldn't take this kind of treatment sitting down.
Looks like they're at it again. What are we to do?
As you can see, our Briardien and I are discussing important matters at the moment. If you have something to report, pray return later.
Findings. Ha. As if anything you four managed to dig up can help me now. The hearing is about to begin, my fate is as good as sealed.
There's still time, our combatant. Earlier you pledged your innocence to us. Let us pledge it once more, at the hearing, before one and all. The truth shall speak for itself.
The truth. You expect those fools to see the truth when this evidence to the contrary is staring them in the face. How do you think this plan your pea-sized minds have concocted will succeed where all Le Brassois' best attempts have failed?
We will succeed, our combatant. For it is not just I that stands with you, but the hero who brought to light the truth behind our very nation. Yes, there is nothing that she has not seen. Surely you understand the implications of this. Don't you, Le Brassois?
miqo'te has the ability to peer into events of the past. Indeed, it was through her visions that Ishgard's true origins were brought to light. Hey, you need say no more. She has already used her wanted power to see that I was the one behind it all. Yes, it was I that kidnapped Ula. It was I that snuck into her room and stole volume 11. And it was I that distributed the letters, also that I might implicate our Briardien. How satisfying it is to finally be able to say it aloud. For so long I have had to plot my revenge in silence, and mask my hatred of you with hollow praise and bashful smiles.
Le Brassois. What madness is this you speak?
You truly are oblivious, aren't you? Then allow me to enlighten you. After all the transgressions your family has committed against mine, did you truly think I would remain loyal to you? For centuries your house has humiliated us. It was something we would come to accept, but when the wall between the nobility and the common class came tumbling down, we were met with the most harrowing truth of all, that all our suffering had been for naught. Everything we grew up believing about our status was a fabrication, tall tales spun to keep us complacent. In reality, you are no better than the two groomed rats beside you. You never were. It was a terrible realization, but one that also gave me hope that you could be taken down just as any other. That is when I began plotting. Ula's abduction, the letters and the rumors they spurred, all was part of my master plan. To bring shame and dishonor on you and your family, as you have mine. I have staked everything, yes, even my very freedom. But it was worth it to give you a taste of our pain. Bahahaha. What's more, I bribed the two kidnappers into abducting Ula with money from your purse. And having entrusted the management of your finances to me, you never suspected a thing.
Le Brassois. I can only imagine the pain you have endured, but to seek revenge in this way. Nevertheless, I thank you for confessing to your crimes. Now we can absolve our combatant of the false charges brought against him.
Wait a minute. You mean that she didn't actually see into the past? You deceived me.
If you'll recall, Theo never explicitly said that miqo'te had a vision of what happened to Ola. He merely observed that she possesses such an ability. Truth be told, it is not even a power that can be controlled at will. Now then, our combatant, I suppose that's all the proof of innocence you'll need. Let's escort Leversoir to the hearing and have him repeat his most dramatic confession before the headmistress.
I never saw it. The hatred, I mean. How could I have been so blind? We've been friends from childhood, and never for a moment did I question his loyalty. What a fool I was. However did I think I could stand at the forefront of our nation, when I was so oblivious to that which was happening under my very nose?
Our combatant, pray do not torture yourself so. Rather, open your heart and allow Hallowed's wisdom to set you free. Once you come to see Leversoir not only as your friend but as your peer, I promise that the both of you will find a way to mend any bonds that have been broken.
Of the Fury's love will all men receive, and by the balance of her spear will all be set free. You truly believe these words, don't you? You cling to them even when reality does all it can to prove you wrong. I suppose it is that unwavering faith that your friends find so endearing. Now then, it is time for me to put my own faith to the test, and face my fate head on. May the Fury have mercy.
So what are we waiting around here for? We have a hearing to attend.
I'll meet you two there. There is something I must confirm with the inspector first. miqo'te, I cannot shake the feeling that this affair runs far deeper than any of us could have imagined. If you would, please accompany our combatant to his hearing and see to it that nothing goes awry in my absence.
It feels as if we've waited here an eternity. You need not speak while in the chapel, for the Fury can hear the whispers of your soul.
As the shepherd watches over his flock, so do we of St. Raymond's Cathedral care for those who seek sanctuary in these trying times. May the grace of Hallowed keep you safe on your journey.
I must say, Master Leversoir, that I am extremely disappointed that anyone, much less a student of our upstanding establishment, would commit such atrocities. I am truly at a loss for words.
Headmistress Elvian, if I may. Do you not find the timing of these confessions to be incredibly convenient? It's as if Master Leversoir here has been coerced into admitting to crimes he himself didn't commit. Let us not rush to condemn a man who may very well be innocent. We must also keep in mind that this incident will have repercussions that extend beyond the Scholasticate. Distrust of our church has never been so high. If we were to expel either one of our prefects, both of whom have strong ties to House Zemail, we will lose any credibility our establishment still has in the eyes of the citizens. To this end, I would propose an alternative plan. We will make a full disclosure of this scandal to the public, together with an announcement that St. Endalim's Scholasticate will be temporarily closed. It is past time we pushed for a full reformation of the school and its curriculum.
And there it is, the confession I've been waiting for.
Confession. Master Briardien. Explain yourself.
From the start, I had my suspicions that someone was pulling strings behind the scenes, someone who had secured a high enough position within the clergy to manipulate the students and the system. I poured through records, closely examining any who fit this description. It was no easy task, but I finally found what I was searching for. And combined with the confession Theo Mossant obtained from Le Brassois, I was able to uncover the true culprit. I speak of you, Saturnois. And I do not call you father, for you are no priest. The documents admitting you into your current position were all forged. You manipulated Le Brassois into carrying out what you yourself could not. You stirred up discord among the students, and fomented the people's distrust of the clergy in the hopes of creating an even greater rift between the people of Ishgard and the clergy, all in the hopes of seeing the Scholasticate closed down once and for all.
But I don't understand. Why would Father Saturnois seek the ruin of the Scholasticate?
The answer to that would lie in his past. Over a decade ago, Saturnois graduated top of his class and was welcomed into the ranks of the Holy See. It was there, he was assigned work as an expurgator.
Expurgator. What are you talking about? In all my years serving the Holy See, I've never heard of such a post.
I would be more surprised if you had. Her holy body of decency, a sector that is comprised of a few select individuals, is perhaps the best kept of Ishgard's many secrets. Its existence is known only to a handful of people beside the Archbishop himself. I am impressed, Master Briardien. It would seem your reputation is well deserved. Though I must correct you on one account. I am no expurgator, but rather one of the called watchmen consigned to guard them. That said, we shared a similar fate. Both expurgator and watchman alike were struck from official records and confined in the bowels of the Holy See, damned to live out our lives in the shadows as pallid husks of the men and women we could have been, also that someday we might fulfill one task. Where written records were deemed too dangerous, expurgators would serve as living documents, orally passing down our nation's greatest secrets. When the time came for the Archbishop's successor to ascend the throne, we would briefly emerge from our isolation to pass from our mouths to their ears all we knew of Ishgard before sinking back into obscurity. Of course, no highborn man or woman would be condemned to this fate. No, this was a destiny reserved for commoners, orphans with no ties to the world above.
7 hells. So if the truth hadn't come to light, Theo and I,
Men and women forced to sacrifice their own lives, that our nation's darkest secrets might be preserved forever unbeknownst to her people. I can scarce believe my ears.
Father Saturnois, the friend you spoke of.
Yes, he was an expurgator. Such anguish did his duties cause him that he chose death over that wretched excuse for a life. And while a new era is upon us, one that does not condemn the innocent to a life of despair for the sarcasm of one man, it does not undo the injustice of 1,000 years. It was to right the wrongs of the past that I escaped that foul dungeon and made my way back to the place where it all began. This twisted institution, the place responsible for stealing the bright futures of young orphans, needs to be closed down for good.
Father Saturnois, your actions are heinous, and I can in no way condone them. That said, if there is truth to what you say, perhaps it would be best for us to suspend all lessons until we can reach a consensus as to how we might proceed.
But Headmistress Elviana, would not closing down the Scholasticate be akin to evading our responsibility as men and women of the clergy? It is our duty to speak the truth, not bury it. For too long the people have been fed naught but lies. It is time we took the initiative, and gave them reason to put their faith in us once more.
I must agree with Theo Mosant. As I have learned it firsthand, we must take care never to abuse our power and privilege, lest we hurt the people closest to us. To keep silent would be to repeat the mistakes of our past. The only way we can move forward is to take responsibility for our actions, and make an earnest effort to reach out to those we have wronged. While we may never receive forgiveness, at least we can attempt to atone for any anguish we may have caused those that did not deserve it. If it is true that all men are born equal, as I have heard so many in this room preach time and time again, then all are entitled to know the truth. Let us lead by example, and freely share all that we have learned here today.
Father Saturnois, while I cannot pretend to understand your ordeal or soothe the fury that has taken hold in your heart, I can promise you one thing. I swear on Father Coiso's copy of the Parables of Saint Danaphan that not you, nor any of those who shared your fate will ever again be forgotten.
Theo is a born detective. He told me that he went to speak with the inspector because he thought it suspicious that Father Saturnois was pushing so hard to have Briardien expelled. Sure enough, it turned out that he was the one pulling the strings all along. While I'm glad this ordeal is finally behind us, I cannot help but feel as though we lost one of our own. We shared the same origins as Father Saturnois, and would have shared the same fate, had it not been for you.
Miqo'te, thank you for restoring peace to the Scholasticate. You have reminded us that there is a world beyond these doors that relies as much upon us as we do them. You have opened our eyes and shown us that destiny is but the choices we make. If we are strong and persevere, I have no doubt we can rebuild the Scholasticate and regain the people's trust.
miqo'te, now that your work here is done, I suppose the time for farewells is upon us. Will you be departing Ishgard immediately? It's sad to say farewell, but let's send you and the Inspector of in style.
There is my trusted associate. I feared I might not be able to bid you a proper farewell before I left. On behalf of my uncle, allow me to thank you for all your hard work.
There's still so much fighting and bickering going on, couldn't you stay with us for just a bit longer?
I fear that there are more pressing mysteries that demand my attention. Not to mention a certain young lady in Uldar who awaits my return.
Oh ho. Another client of yours, I take it?
Theo, is your head screwed on backwards? He's talking about his.
Tactless fools, the both of you. But I suppose you're nothing if not sincere, eh, Theo? And while I'll admit that knifed is one of your more endearing traits, combined with the blunderings of the idiot beside you, it's like as not to bring the Scholasticate to ruin. That's why you will need someone with extensive knowledge of the affairs of Ishgard, and the proper connections to actually bring about the change you seek. Someone like me.
The words of a man looking to steal his way into our dear Theo's heart. Ha ha ha. Blazy, Lee, it seems you've got competition.
The Fury take you all. Call me what you will, but Theo would never replace me with anyone, much less a conniving snake like our combatine.
Ha ha ha. How refreshing it is to hear such playful banter among my friends. It would seem our worries are finally behind us. Before we celebrate, however, there is one last thing. Blazy, I'd like to thank you for your support. Were it not for your meticulous notes and sharp eyes, Ola would still be missing. miqo'te, Inspector, words are not enough to express our gratitude. It was only because of you that we were able to unmask the perpetrator and restore peace to our school. Just as Father Koiso brought you to us in Gorgonia Mills, I cannot help but feel hallowed guided you to us in our time of need. We hope to one day repay the kindness you have shown us by rebuilding the Scholasticate. When next you visit, we hope she will have retaken her place as the nation's top establishment of higher learning, and once again serve to light the people's way back to the halls of hallowed.
Our fair nation has seen her share of tragedy and turmoil, but I take heart in knowing that there are those such as yourself to watch over her, and see that she does not stray from her course. Till we meet again.